Thank you for listening to this Belly Up Sports Podcast Network product. Some said we go belly up, so we made it our name, and we're still here.
Call yourselves Title Town? Are you kidding me?
That's fraud. It feels like a gray area.
Spoiler alert, Canada. Cup's coming back to the US of A.
There's way too much negative stigma attached to strippers.
I hate you guys so much.
My dog just shit his ass.
Hey everybody, what is going on? It is Tuesday night. That means it is time for another edition of Craft Brewed Sports. I am Mike. With me, as always, is Scott. Scott, how you feeling today, man?
What a wild last 4 days. What a wild time.
It's been very crazy. Yeah.
I'm all right, though. I'm doing all right. I feel like I was, eating my mic, though, just before you turned it on. I'm like, why is this thing, in my face, in my mouth?
We've only been doing this for 7 years.
I know, and I was like, can I adjust it? What's happening? Other than that, though, I'm good.
I like how you kind of stepped up to the tension and then backed away and then
we're still us. There's only so much that we can adjust for inflation. So
yeah, listen, this show, I will tell you right off the bat, is not going to be the normal Craft Brewed Sports to start with. As we talk about that Damar Hamlin thing, that was unbelievable to see. It was horrible to watch. We will get past it, give the updates. There's a few things I want to talk about with that, and then we will go back to the normal show hijinks that you've come to know and love. Speaking of the show hijinks, Mookie, how you feeling, man?
Good news is Christian Eriksen is back playing in the EPL 2 years removed from a similar but different situation. So again, fingers crossed, hoping for the best. There is still potentially a positive to come out of this, but hard to find the words otherwise.
Yeah. This might be the shortest intros we've ever done. Cesar, how you feeling, man? He's trying not to say something.
Hold it together, dude. Come on.
He's trying to hold back from saying something about Tulane after everybody else has addressed the Hamlin.
No. I was at work. My friends were blowing on my phone, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on? I don't need to hear about any of this right now. I'm at fucking work. Leave me the fuck alone." So then I go to lunch. Cap, I don't even go to lunch. I fucking leave. I go eat with my friends. With one of my friends because she's from Austin, and we're eating. I'm like, why the fuck is this game not gone on yet? Why are we still paused? And then I find out why we were paused, and I had no words. It was crazy. Just like how Mookie said, it reminded me of Christian Eriksen. It just reminded me how fragile life can be when even you're just trying to have fun with your friends or just play a kid's game. So, yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Absolutely crazy. We will we'll talk Damar Hamlin and that situation, and more so. Look, there's only so much that can be said. Clearly, this dude's fighting for his life, and we hope that he pulls through. Not just it's bigger than football. It's rather that we'd love to see him back on the field, but more than that, you just want to see this guy make it. But I think there's some things that we can discuss around the situation, particularly how it was handled by the NFL and ESPN. I think that's a topic we should probably get into. And then we'll start getting into the goofy stuff. Listen, fuck the Maryland coach. That bitch ass with this big old hat for the Duke's Mayo Bath, you're a bitch. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Cesar's Tulane Green Wave. And we will talk about all kinds of baseball news. Scott is amazed that the Carlos Correa thing is still going on. I am amazed that an MLB Hall of Fame voter submitted perhaps the worst ballot I've ever seen. We will get to all of that. Before we do, though, as is customary in this show, and it feels weird fucking doing it, but that's how we do it. Let's talk about these beers that we're drinking, and we're going to rate it on the scale of whether or not we would bang the beer. Got it. So it's so awkward. We continue our Mountain Dew month here. This time we go with the watermelon flavor, the Mountain Dew Hard Seltzer Watermelon. Scott, I'm going to go to you first on this one.
Even with the sensitive track, I would not lay with this one. I would not lay with this one. This watermelon is not. Thank you, Cesar. This watermelon is not great. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Mookie, how you feeling about this watermelon Mountain Dew?
I mean, kind of how I'm like feeling about life right now. Like it's here, so why not? Whatever. Yeah, sure.
Somebody please chime in and cheer Mookie up in the comments because this dude is like shattering.
Bro, we talked about it. I'm holding it together for the safety of not getting canceled, but you know the spot I'm in right now.
Cesar, what are you drinking?
So as Mr. South Texas, I didn't even taken a sip of the beer yet. Hold up. Oh, it's not bad. Okay, yeah, as Mr. South Texas, I'm drinking Kashiris. I don't know, it's some Greek ass word. Can y'all pronounce that?
Love those Greek ass words.
That's word.
Kashiris Blonde Ale, 5.2 alcohol, 12 fluid ounces. It is from Corpus Christi, Texas, South Texas, with a disposition as lovely as the sunset that shines upon her. The nymph, known as Kashiris, graced the springs of gold-producing mountains in Greek mythology. Our easy-drinking blonde sparkles with light, biscuity malt flavor, the scented with seductive citrus flavor, resulting in a perfect beer to gild any occasion. I got it because it was blue, and I got this shot because it was green. I wonder why.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
He reads a 15-second description. He's like, I like it because it's blue.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that was an interesting way to say that.
Yeah, that was
Also, Mike, before your turn, I think you earned this one, as Biscuit said in the comments. Went to the black man for the watermelon first.
And there it is.
Race card.
Now that you've taken your medicine, sir, what are you thinking?
It's so terrible.
It's not good.
Bad beer. Here's the problem. This is the first one that's not like an actual Mountain Dew flavor, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's not a watermelon Mountain Dew that I
They
know
went
of.
off script.
So when you veer off of what works, like I feel like the full fact should have been
Flavors we know.
four types of 4 count of 3 flavors, not 3 count of 4 flavors.
You know what they should have done? They should have gone. What's the orange one? The orange one that they had.
Oh, the gamer one.
No, well, it wasn't a gamer. But when it first came out, before they tagged it as like gamer fuel, like because there was Code Red, and then the orange one came out.
Oh yeah, it was
afterwards.
Livewire.
Livewire. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Livewire.
That's
Isn't
what
that a
they should have
website?
done.
Or Scott, the other one I was gonna say is, didn't they have a dark purple is almost a black cherry one?
Yeah, I never had that one. I know which one you're talking about, but I never had it.
Yeah.
Well, they can't go black cherry because that was last week's flavor, even though it tasted like
Yeah,
Code
it was
Red,
Code
dubbed
Red.
as black
Oh,
cherry.
look, my wife's
Yeah.
chiming in.
Leave it to the watermelon Mountain Dew flavor after
They
the holiday
should
break.
She said they should not have done it. In the comments, we do have some folks drinking in the comments. Gabe is drinking a triple dry hopped hazier IPA, triple IPA, 9.8% ABV, untitled.
I was
art.
gonna go with EPA.
Jared's got a Green City by Other Half Brewing to celebrate my fantasy
Damn it.
championship. Double dry hop hazy IPA, 7%. Absolutely phenomenal. Would bang, marry, grow old with this beer. And Robert Taylor, of course, with his normal deliciousness from Untitled Art. 8% ABV chocolate cinnamon churro pastry stout, lots of flavor for the center. Jared is correct on that one. It just sounds illegal. That beer that Rob is drinking. Oh, there you go, Matt Barr. Just water tonight. Dry January started.
You know what though? You know what, Matt? I'm sorry, but that just sounds like you're a quitter.
By the way, Mookie, Jared and Robert have your back in the comments. Pitch Black.
I saw that. Yeah. Grape. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
I
I didn't
would've
know
been
what
good
flavor
too.
one. I never had it though, so I didn't have anything to go off of.
It
I just
wasn't-
remember
it
seeing the
wasn't-
can. The cans always looked like it was some Halloween type bullshit.
Yeah. It did not stick around long, and for probably good reason, but it probably would have stuck around longer than this watermelon. So,
They should have brought back Livewire.
oh my God, yeah.
Livewire's
agreed.
delicious.
Totally agree. Biscuit said, did someone in the group post Diego alcoholic drink, or did I see that elsewhere? That was in the group. Somebody-
Yeah, I could not find it.
Oh, really?
I looked
Isn't it
multiple
called, like,
places.
Isn't it called like Lego or something? Like they
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I told Robert, because we're the eggnog lovers
I'm on
in
one
the, in the
Google.
group. Like, I'm pretty sure I saw it. I saw it a week before he posted it, but I was passing like a end cap at the grocery store, and I was like, look at this Lego or Eggo bullshit that they're trying to sell, like just some liqueur. I didn't realize it was eggnog. I thought it was just some random Eggo. And so I just kept it moving, didn't look into it. He posts that and I'm like, oh shit, I saw that at Kroger. I'm going to get some. Never saw it again. Never saw it again.
Cheryl's calling you out. She said he did not see it. He saw syrup. She also, if it makes you feel better, Scott, she burned the shit out of Matt Barr too, saying dry January. We don't need to know about your second.
Can we get the raspberry horn?
Mookie happy. Look at that. Look at that smile for Mookie.
Can we get the raspberry horn for my wife? I feel like she earned a raspberry horn for burning Matt.
She does earn a raspberry horn for that one. I got you. All right, we transition from rap air horn to more serious topics here. So for those of you that did not see or have been living under a rock, last night during the Bengals-Bills game, safety Damar Hamlin went down, suffered cardiac arrest. He was revived on the field. They got his heart beating again, took him to UC Medical. He's in critical condition. An absolutely awful story. It was a hit that just was normal. Like, it didn't even seem out of the ordinary. And then you see this young, healthy dude stand up and just fall down, and then everybody around him in absolute shock and horror as everything went on the field. Really hard to watch, Scott. It was one of those moments that, like, listen, when Tua's injury happened, I was like, what am I doing watching football? And then when that happened, I'm like, I don't know. It's getting harder and harder to justify watching football. And the crazy thing was that wasn't even like football. Like, that wasn't like a big hit or something that you'd be like, oh, this is just too violent of a game. It was just a freak thing that happened. And everybody is sitting there, stunned, silent stadium, and everybody just can't figure out what the hell is going on.
Yeah, I'd gone to bed, so I didn't see it until I got to work. And Cheryl actually came in and woke me up and said, explain what had happened. But in my haze of being half asleep, my first thought was, and I know we're going to get to this, but it's like, holy crap, Tua, Cesar, and now this guy here. But I also didn't understand how serious it was, because when she says, well, he got hurt and they brought an ambulance out, and I'm like, okay, well, they brought an ambulance out. It's probably something like Cesar, he got off the field, they'll play the game. I wake up and I look and I'm like, why isn't there a final score? Oh God, they completely stopped playing the game. And then that's when I looked to see what happened. And yeah, it was the most unassuming serious injury I think I've ever seen. But I've been saying this for probably 7 or 8 years now, man. My football interest is declining, slowly, but stuff like this, it kills it, man. I had just had the conversation with somebody about how my kids are not playing football. And here's another reason. And I know it's a freak thing and people are but it's just this type of stuff, man. It happens in football way too often.
Well, that's the thing. So you mentioned that, but Drew pointed out at the beginning of the show, this happened to a soccer player, a very similar incident where he went into cardiac arrest and was revived on the field. So I don't know if you could just say, this, if it was
no, you heard me. I said it's football. It's a football problem.
Football. Okay.
So now it's football. Now it's all encompassing. I see how it is. Moving goalposts on
this is a football problem.
Here's the thing, though, and this is where, again, now I promised I wasn't going to get us canceled before the show, and I'm going to stick to that. But here's where I have a problem with the narrative every time something like this comes up. It gets very isolated on one specific incident, as opposed to looking at athletics and life as a whole. There is a lot of shit that we as humans do that is inherently highly risky and dangerous. And I think what we have to be aware of is whether it's football or hockey or basketball, wrestling, sometimes you may see some shit happen because humans are pushing their bodies to the extreme in the name of competition. Now, I'm not trying to dismiss what happened, but it's you have to realize that that's something that occurs. The thing that I go back to is Kevin Ware for Louisville, who busted his leg freaking open on the court. To me, that's the same level of trauma. But it's also, shit just happens. Now, this one, Mike, you said it was just a nothing play, except that it was contact at the right time, at the right moment to literally just stop dude's heart. And that could happen in basketball. I could see that happening in hockey. It's happened in hockey and baseball with people getting either hit with a pitch or hit with a slap shot. So again, I just think, we get too protected or comfortable with sports. And when injuries happen, we just like try to dismiss them instead of taking them for what they are and how serious they are. Like this is people doing stuff all the way to the extreme. Like shit happens and we have to be able to talk about it intelligently instead of fetishizing it like ESPN has done.
Oh, okay? So you're going right into that. I did have some issues with the coverage last night. Not so much ESPN. I think my issue with the coverage, and everybody was saying like, what are they doing? Just cut away. You have hours and hours of programming. Why are you still doing this? And it felt like ESPN had no idea what to do in the situation because they would throw it back to Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. And Joe Buck would just be like, they're administering CPR. There's nothing else to say. We're going to go to commercial. And they kept doing that throughout the entire time that he's down on the field instead of just going to something else like alternate programming, whatever the case. And then they finally make the decision, let's go back to the studio.
Oh, my God.
To Booger and Adam Schefter and get their thoughts, which – again, at least they weren't going back to the stadium and like trying to force the play-by-play guys to keep going and keep coming up with stuff. Like they had time to get into a studio and get something going. But what a shitty position to put your talent in of like, listen, we all just experienced something that none of us have ever experienced watching football before. Nobody has ever seen something like that happen watching football. And now you guys need to go fill the time. Like if I was Adam Schefter, I'd be like, fuck you, man. This is really brutal. Put on something else. Go to the World Darts Championship or something. Why are we doing this?
It's such bullshit too, because they were talking about it just now before he came on the show. I was watching some of the coverage and it actually was some decent information, yet at the same time, it was unnecessary. The like intimate details are talking about the medical plans for these players and stuff. But like they rehearse these scenarios every year at every stadium with every staff, and every game, everyone gets together and says, okay, if shit happens, you're in charge of this, but you make all the call. Like they're clear that way. Why the fuck aren't ESPN and Fox? Why do they not have those kinds of contingency plans? Like yours are probably a lot easier. You just flip the switch to panic mode. Like
no, I work in TV, man. I can tell you, like I bet you Schefter and those guys back in studio, because again, heard about this, didn't see it, but when the way it was explained to me and how they fumbled around and everything, I guarantee you, ESPN was like freaking out, and the talent probably wasn't ready. Like they're probably chilling, watching the game. Like you're not like ready to go on air, even if it wasn't to talk about something like that. Like imagine if the thing just cut out, like they have to call people back to the set and everything. Like that is a crappy situation.
But even that, Scott, like that. Why don't you have a pre-roll, or why don't you have some kind of package ready to say, in this kind of situation, if shit happens, we'll just replay the thing we put in between the 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. games or whatever. You know what I mean? Just re-air fucking kickoff
like,
from that morning.
You can't, like on a live broadcast like that, you can't necessarily just dump out of it. Like what if all of a sudden he gets back up or what? Like whatever happens, like they had to like kind of toe the line, but they also had to like scramble. Like I'm not defending,
but they should have a better plan than that.
Like,
they should have a better plan than
that.
That's the thing.
There is no plan.
That's bullshit. Exactly. That's fucking bullshit. Because then Schefter's sitting there like reading off a teleprompter, sounding like he's the voiceover guy from NFL Films, and Booger is just sit there having a meltdown. I thought dude was about to cry on set. And what's her name in the middle? Diana Rossini or Susie Colbert sitting there like, I don't know. I've had multiple children and I don't know how to keep all of this together. I can raise a family and be a famous professional, and I can't keep this together.
It was so difficult to watch from like the talent perspective. Like I felt awful for Schefter and Booger as they're trying to, like, Booger was deeply affected by it. Like Schefter, you could tell he was affected, but Booger was like really shook up.
Keep that man off camera.
Right, that's what I'm saying. ESPN put him in such a terrible spot to go in and just fill the time. It was rough, man. But Matt pointing out in the comments, Matt Barr, Goodell wanted to play the game. He wouldn't let ESPN leave the game, and there's some truth to that. So that brings us to the other part that I wanted to tackle with this this whole situation is the word came out. Joe Buck says during the broadcast at least 4 times after Hamlin was put in the ambulance and was taken off the field. He said, words come down that the players now have 5 minutes to warm up and then we'll resume the game. And that's when social media went fucking crazy. Like, seriously, they're still going to play this game? How is this game not just canceled? Just call it a tie. Just do something like cancel this game. There's no reason these guys should be playing. And the NFL later came out and said, no, that never happened. We never said 5 minutes, despite the fact that as soon as Joe Buck said that on the broadcast, it cuts to Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow is throwing a pass on the sidelines, clearly loosening up. And it wasn't until Zach Taylor went over to McDermott, you see them get together, then the players leave the field and go to the locker room. Then there's some discussions inside the locker room. Taylor goes back over to the Buffalo locker room, talks to McDermott again. Word comes out then that the game is postponed indefinitely and maybe make it made up at some point in time. It is clear as day that the NFL wanted this game to continue. They wanted them to, okay, we'll give you some time, take as much time as you need, but you're playing this fucking game because it's got playoff implication. It's got fantasy football implication. It's got betting implication. It's got sponsorship implication. You were playing this game, and thank God that Zach Taylor and McDermott were the adults in the room to say, fuck you, we're not going out on that field again. Like that to me, listen, I've given Zach Taylor a lot of shit for some poor decision-making that he's done. That's the best thing Zach Taylor has ever done as the coach of Cincinnati Bengals, was to hopefully get with McDermott and say, look, we're not if you don't want to play, we're fine with that. Let's suspend this game. Is that, Scott, is that NFL motherfucker of the year worthy at this point? Like, it's definitely leading the clubhouse leader in 2023.
I mean, I guess, but this is par for the course for the NFL, right? Like, I mean, they've buried their head in the sand. They've covered up CTE. Like, there was no shocker. But I will say, in the NFL's defense, in those moments, in those moments, and after the game's canceled, you're sitting there like, I was like, man, the worst job in the world. Not Goodell, because Goodell's making the calls and he didn't give a shit, whatever. But like the PR person, it's like, because as you mentioned, there's playoff implications. This was the primetime game. This was the only thing going on. There's all these people. There's people in the stadium. There's fantasy. There's gambling. Like, I was like, wow, what a time for Ohio to open up gambling. And they were pumping the shit out of this game as far as get your gamble on. And it's like, what do we do? Like, there's so many layers to all this shit that I'm like, I wouldn't want to have to make that call. Like, there's too much involved. I know the easy call is the human call is to just cancel the game, not worry about all that. But there's so many levels of things that go on with this whole production. Like, man, somebody, it sucks to say, but I'm like, somebody at the NFL was probably sitting around thinking, Jesus, wish this would have happened on a 1 o'clock game, and some
Week
other,
3.
some other non-important time. Like, it was I can't think of a worst possible time for it to happen.
Because if it's this coming week, games could get canceled because they may not have any implications.
Yes.
But like, that's where to me, I'm just, again, in these scenarios, when this stuff happens, the outrage and shock when we don't see the human element come out at first, like, that's not ever going to be the reaction. Scott was laying it out with the layers, but really what it is it's inertia. You've got this massive operation that has all these implications, all these economic ties, all of this shit. The inertia is always going to keep that thing moving forward until there is a very strong, acute force to stop it. And you're right. Thankfully, Zach Taylor and McDermott were those people in that situation. But like, again, dude, and we are all numbers in this big old game, man. Like, I'm sorry. Like, the humanity in a lot of these things, especially athletics, it's not there. And I don't know why we continually can kid ourselves about it. Like, our players have better uniforms and medical care on the sidelines, but there's still an aspect of like the gladiators in the Coliseum. Maybe hyperbole, but let's be real.
No, it's true.
It's absolutely true. Like, you're talking about like 200, 300, 400-pound men just fucking taking each other's heads off, and we go crazy for it. And then something like this happens, and you're right.
Or not even that though. Not even that. Simone Biles in the Olympics, the twisting and flipping routines, the stuff that she does and that those gymnasts do is so extreme as well. It's the same thing. Like, they are putting their lives at the same kind of risk. It's not as recognizable. But again, I think that's where we kid ourselves sometimes to say, like, it's not that bad. When you watch a football game, yeah, you're like, some shit's probably going to go down. But like, you could see the same kind of catastrophic injury when humans push their bodies to these limits. So sorry, I just had like, again, it's not just when big dudes crash into each other, it's when humans push themselves to the extremes, which is awesome to watch.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but like football is such a violent sport, like at its nature. It's made to be violent. They can do whatever they want. They could they could do whatever they want to, like, well, we're here for player safety and we're gonna do this and and at the end of the day, like, no, the point of the
it's dudes crashing into each
murder somebody else on the other side and score more points. Cesar, I wanted to bring you into this because I don't know, like, you are much younger than I am, and now that I'm a dad, I don't know if that's why it's affecting me as much, but like from your perspective, and I know you didn't see it live, but once you saw the video, like, did you have any feelings of like, God damn, why do I watch football? Or is that just me being an old man now that's like, well, I got kids and this is hard to watch. What if that was my son? Like that, I don't know if that's where I'm coming from now or if I'm still kind of saying.
Just for the sake of it, I'm being quiet because y'all are wiser than me in terms of how much life y'all have seen. So I don't want to interrupt
this motherfucker with his calling
No.
I'm
not trying to call you old.
But you're doing a good job.
I'm doing a great job of it, but it's not on purpose. No. I'm aware. I mean, having a kid is way different than having a younger sibling, but whenever someone that's either my age or younger gets hurt, my mind immediately goes to my little brother. And what my grandparents, my parents have told me, they would risk their lives to protect like my brother and I and like the grandchildren in general. And I share that sentiment in terms of my grandparents. So my first immediate thought when I saw that, I thought of his mom. I couldn't fathom what she was going through. She was at the game. It was just, I was eating with one of my best friends, so I'm eating my fucking food and like my taco, like I dropped my taco. I couldn't believe what the fuck I was watching. I'm being serious. I had it like in my mouth and it just fell to the fucking plate.
Dropped his taco.
So I'm there looking at the screen, and again, I didn't see it live, so it was until that like I saw the fucking video that of him collapsing that I was like, what the fuck just happened? And again, my mind immediately went to Erickson, but no, it hits everyone. This not that it should hit everyone the same way, but it hits everyone with this severe degree of like, holy fuck, that could be someone I know. It's not just because y'all are older and y'all have kids, but everyone has someone that they love in their life and that might partake in an extreme sport, because that's what these things are. I know we consider extreme sports like rally car. Sorry, I said rally car just out of instinct. Rest in peace, Ken Block.
Out of instinct, like that's his go-to.
Well, it's because that's an extreme sport.
I mean,
shout out Ken Block. Shout out Ken Block. We think of sports like that, but no, these. How Mookie said earlier, when he had said that we're just numbers to this fucking system, we really are. Like we are. So immediately, what came to mind was like, yeah, these are fucking extreme sports. My friends played football in high school, and I know high school is way different than the NFL, but I've always maintained the position that we care for high school athletes less than we do for NFL athletes.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that my friends like went through when they were playing high school football, the shit that like the medical teams had them taking before games and stuff always tripped me the fuck out. Especially maybe it's a Texas thing. Maybe it's Texas high school football.
It's high school football everywhere, but I do feel like you guys ratcheted up there in Texas.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I smile. Just you'll see why I smile.
Oh, Bear,
hey, Bear checking in. Yeah,
you would have been in the NFL had he not twisted his ankle against me in the middle.
Wow,
5'11" Bear. Middle linebacker for Trotton Middle. He'd be in the NFL right now.
That cat from TCU is little, and he's about to be in the national championship game.
Zach Thomas made a career out of it. He'd have been fine.
But yeah, it was a really impactful thing to watch. I know it sounds like I'm waffling, but the whole thing is that I just couldn't believe it, and it just brought to light how much I hate the NFL, not the sport. And not the athletes that play the sport, but the league itself, the corporation.
Yes. The business is what's
here's the thing. Like Mookie made the point, and he's 100% right. Like we are all just cogs in this wheel. I know it's crazy, Mookie. I said you're right.
Do I get an air horn?
No,
Not
right now.
he was
Not right now.
right.
Not really the time
We
for
should get like a slow clap.
Oh, right.
But he is 100% right because like I should not be shocked by the lack of humanity because any other industry,
Right.
let's say you're at your office and
Oh, right.
Sally from accounting has a heart attack at her desk and then they take her out in an ambulance. Your boss isn't going to come by and be like, you know what, take the rest of the day off. That fucker is going to be like, oh, that was really bad. Is that report going to be done by 5 or like that's the type of world we live in that the machine just has to keep going. Like they're cool. Okay. Do you need a glass of water or something? And also this needs to be finished. Like we got to, come on. I got a tea time.
They'd make your ass call your own
the world.
ambulance. They'd be like, you hit the speed dial, bitch. Like this is billable time.
Yeah, no, they'd be like, "Oh, Mary went down. Gonna need you to pick up her slack
And
indefinitely. Don't know
no
when she'll be
raise, no
back.
more money in the budget.
Yeah, we can't change anything, but really gonna need you to pick up Mary's slack over the next couple of weeks. Okay, bye."
Mm-hmm. And I mean, hey, if you really have a shitty job, you might wake up with like donuts and stuff drawn on your face, like in Workaholics. You know, like it's rough out there, and that's why I think is always kind of interesting. Is like nobody recognizes that reality, and that's why I always try to tell people, like, give them career advice. Work the system like it's gonna work you regardless. So get yours.
Why I work it.
And find them cracks, right?
I mean, let's be honest. Every day is one big game of what can I do to make this job work for me.
Dude, Scott, I can't tell you how many people have mentioned to me separately about your brilliant take on childbirth and medical bills. Actually, I can. It was 3. I mean, let's be real. It's not that many, but I mean, hey.
They don't want them. They ain't coming to repo them. Come find me. Come holler at me.
I'm right
Good
here,
luck.
y'all.
Good luck getting that check cashed. Cash it a week from Tuesday.
There's one more thing that I wanted to talk about. Scott, you alluded to this at the top of the show. Paycor Field, or Paul Brown Stadium, now Paycor Stadium, that field is it cursed at this point? Like, okay, so we had this situation with Hamlin. Previously in the year, Tua had that concussion that was awful to see, where his hands were sprawled out in front of his face. You mentioned the Ryan Shazier hit where he tackled a Bengals player and then basically we were worried that he wasn't ever going to walk again. We thought he was going to be paralyzed forever. And prior to that, if you go back even further, there's also the Vontaze Burfict hit on Antonio Brown that people point to as the reason why Antonio Brown is doing the things that he's doing now. Those are 4 really crazy things that have happened at Paycor Stadium. Like, is this stadium cursed? Did Paul Brown put a curse on this stadium?
No, but I bet Paul Brown would probably try to use this to be like, this stadium is cursed. Y'all should publicly fund me a new one because this one clearly has its problems, guys. Like, I asked for more money to build a new stadium, but if y'all want people to keep, getting injured like this, we'll just leave it up. I mean, I'm going
to need a 0.5% renewal on the levy.
No, see, Scott, I like where your head's at, but you can't go that hard that fast. You got to build up to it. So first you go, welcome to Paycor Field, curse brought to you by Gold Bond medicated powder, right? You go that way for a couple of years and they go, y'all, like, this sponsorship clearly is not getting rid of the curse. So yeah, now it's time for the new stadium.
Tyson,
Carson
Palmer's knee.
Wait,
Kimo
his
von Oelhoffen
fucking
going after
photo
the knee.
though.
I don't know what Tyson's photo went with this week. I'm going to be the first person. I'll go out and say it. Paycor Stadium is cursed. That is a terrible place. It is absolutely cursed.
What is Paycor?
Paycor is a payroll processing place.
What a dog shit sponsor.
They all are. Can you name a corporate sponsor that you're like, that's one I can get behind? Like
AT&T.
Kroger.
Get the fuck out of here, AT&T. Just because Jera signed out, get the fuck out of here, man.
No.
That's not a
Because Lily is
Heinz
dog.
is cool.
Am I right?
Heinz is cool.
Oh,
Levi's is cool. I wear
Heinz is not a
Levi's.
sponsor anymore, though. Heinz
They're
Field
not?
went away.
What are they?
Heinz is
They lost the rights.
Where are they?
Something stupid, probably.
It is.
Is Philly still Duracell or no?
Philly? I thought Philly was a bank. I thought it was Lincoln.
Isn't that why they throw the baddies at people?
I thought Lincoln Financial.
Lincoln
Look
Financial?
at this guy with his jokes. Again with his jokes. Aren't they sponsored by Duracell? Come on with the low hanging fruit
I don't
guy.
give a fuck. Fuck that. Fuck that
I
team,
got it
bro.
now.
Yeah, no, it was this Cowboys bullshit coming.
No,
through
no, no.
again.
But Levi's is actually sick. I wear Levi's, like for real.
I
can't
wear Levi's. God damn it.
Just because you use
still
product
cool.
doesn't make it legit.
Dr. Mahita pointing out Paycor is a legit dog
It
shit
is.
sponsor. Jared said AT&T is evil. Tupac said FTX Stadium in Miami. Now that's a sponsor I could get behind. The bankrupt, out of business FTX, and somehow their stuff is still on the court. Even though Miami came out and was like, listen, we're not doing business with FTX anymore.
Hey,
It
look,
just takes a lot of money to get this stuff off the floor, so it's going to be here for a while.
I'll still go to my grave calling that shit Enron Field in Houston. That shit is Enron Field. So just if something goes down, your shit's fucked. And look at Cesar doesn't even know what Enron is. Google Martha
Is that
Stewart
the
and
fraud
Enron.
company? They were
The
based
fraud
in
company,
Houston?
yes.
Company that was
Yes.
Houston's corporate
Oh,
sponsor
that's
for the Astro
crazy.
Stadium, and
Damn,
then
what
and
an
then
L for
everything because all
Texas.
sorts of
Weren't they founded like in Nebraska or some shit?
Well, they sponsored a stadium in Texas though.
Fuck. That's an L for us.
Yeah,
Cleveland,
everything's bigger in
Cleveland
Texas.
will
Even
It was a
fraud.
bigger L for Martha Stewart at the time.
Is that why she got arrested?
Yes, for the insider trading. Like that
No,
was-
she got arrested for perjury due to insider trading. Come on.
whatever. It's because she was insider trading.
She has a badass ad with Bic, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Her second
on-
career is better
On
than
the
her first
extended
anyway,
lighters,
though.
her
Like
and Snoop Dogg
her,
on the extended lighters. It's
that's what I'm
pretty
saying.
badass.
Her hanging out with Snoop Dogg, like everything she went to.
Do you think he smashed?
Club Fed?
Do you think he's smashed?
Like realistically, like I'm being serious. They're on a lot of shit together. Like there's a lot of chemistry there. You just don't build that.
I
Naturally.
think she would turn him down. She'd be like, no,
No,
you're
I
not,
don't.
You're not big
think
enough for me.
Snoop Dogg smashed Martha Stewart. Like, what?
Yeah.
That's something crazy though. Imagine you're chilling with your homies, like, oh yeah, like I bagged Martha Stewart. Like she's
I
rich.
bagged Martha Stewart.
I'm not saying he wouldn't. I'm just saying I don't think he.
How old is she? This is 4 Googles.
Old.
72.
The Cesar Google count has started.
Ah, she's
By
old
the
as
way,
shit. Sorry, Martha. Sorry.
She's old as shit.
Props to you guys, because this was such a seamless transition. Well done to all of you.
38 minutes. We're back to it, man. Thank God.
I was thinking it as
Still.
soon as I started on the Mike Brown thing and the stadium curse. I was like, well, here's where it goes downhill.
Well,
Yeah,
and that's what
fucking
I
guy.
planned for. I planned for let's talk the curse because that's a way to ease out of the serious stuff into the goofy stuff. And then here we are talking about did Snoop Dogg bang Martha Stewart? How old
He
is
had
Martha
to.
Stewart? She's old as shit. Sorry,
Hey,
Martha.
I'll tell you what. If Martha Stewart was a watermelon Mountain Dew, hard Mountain Dew, she wouldn't.
Top Google's Martha Stewart young. So let me see this. Why are they black and white?
Off the rails.
They're in black and white. She looks better though.
All right, listen.
Well, look
Uh,
better when we're
at
young. Go to
least.
hell.
She's
Caesar.
like Betty White.
No shot. She was bad. That's 5.
Betty
All
White.
right. Listen, let's continue and talk some football. Scott, did you see Kayvon Thibodeaux after knocking out Nick Foles?
Fuck that guy.
I did not. I heard, but I did not see it.
Dude, he knocks out the quarterback, gets a sack, knocks out the quarterback. Foles is writhing around on the ground, and Thibodeaux is next to him just doing snow angels. I don't know if he didn't realize Foles was hurt or if he did, and that's why he was doing the snow angels. I have no idea. Mookie, you laughed. You're a fan of this celebration?
What the fuck was that?
I'm just watching it now. But he's wiggling all around, man. Wow. That's bad.
What a take. It's bad.
Wow.
I mean,
that's
he's
bad.
not unconscious, so at least it wasn't a head injury, but still,
Yeah,
he
but
is. He's like
bro's there,
wiggling all
like, fucking
around.
clenching his hands and shit.
I'm pretty sure at one point Kayvon Thibodeaux knows what's up though, because you can see his grill like on his mask kind of like twist over. Yeah, Nick Foles for sure like broke some ribs or something in that one.
Gabe said Andy was hitting him with his leg. Like, Thibodeaux, He's doing the snow angels. That's such a dick move. God, I feel like that's something you would do if you were.
That's like teabagging your opponents in Call of Duty and Halo. Like that's so fucked
I'm
up.
not gonna
It's so
lie. If I ever
unnecessary.
played any type of defensive position that sacked the quarterback, I would definitely have some type of disrespectful ass celebration.
What position would you play?
Oh, what position would I play? I'd play middle bench, but I'm just saying, like, if
No, I'm
I
asking
did-
genuinely. Like, what position would you play given your stats?
Given my stats, I'd be a slot wide receiver who is no good because he was only half white, or a DB who was just toast. So the only chance I'd have is if they sent me on a quarterback, blitz,
A jet sweep.
And I was gonna say, and I, just got in there, and it would be one of those plays too, where it's like, oh, here comes this cornerback, he hits him, and I get up and I'm all big and shit, but then I just, do the dog pissing on him or something. Like it'd be something real ridiculous because it'd be my only sack of my career. So I would definitely do something. And really like, oh, he's really hurt. Like, he'll be fine. Like I'm 5'7". How hurt can he be? Tell him to rub some dirt on it.
He was though. He was smacking him with his hand as he did his thing. Like there's no way he didn't know he was hurt, man.
Jeff Saturday
I
said
love
of
it,
the
though.
celebration, tasteless from the celebration afterward, just trash, not a fan of it at all. Jeff Saturday really angling for that Colts job, everybody. He's really trying to get in there with that take. Just tasteless. It was the highlight of my football weekend was watching that, at least from the NFL side.
I was gonna say, I was like, that wasn't the highlight of my football weekend. I mean, can we talk about the Raiders fucking up too? Put up 34 points on the number one defense in the NFL and still come away with an L.
How much do you think Derek Carr was crying about that one?
Derek Carr was somewhere. Dude, Derek Carr parlayed against the Raiders the minute they sent him home. He was like, I'm betting everything I got against these motherfuckers.
Oh, shit. Guys, I didn't see this. I'm sorry. We got to go back real quick. Coming in from Bach on the sidelines after he was doing the baby cradle. So not only does he do the snow angel next to Foles, then he does the baby cradle. He knew at that point. Like, you can at least have plausible deniability when you're doing a snow angel next to somebody. Like, I thought he was just doing them with me. I didn't know why he was rolling around.
If you're doing a snow angel celebration, period, do you think you give a fuck if the guy is hurt? Couldn't give two shits.
You don't.
Mm-mm.
Fantastic, Scott. So you want to go Raiders? That's your favorite part of the weekend.
Oh no! Before we wrap up NFL, because that was not my favorite part of the weekend. I mean, it was a very nice win because beating the Raiders was always fun. Top 5 hated teams. It's always fun, but nothing beat the ball dropping and Ohio State shanking the fuck out of that kick.
Yeah,
to lose the game.
Let's shift gears and talk college football playoffs. We had the national semifinals this weekend. Michigan versus TCU was the first game of the week. Dude, I hate to say it, Michigan got hosed in that.
Yeah, they did.
Yes, Drew.
What?
I know you hate Michigan.
Win? Where? How?
By
sucking dick?
The touchdown pass that was called off that led to the fumble that then TCU. That was a touchdown. That was a touchdown. Don't say it wasn't.
Yeah.
And then
That shit happened so early in the game. I'm sorry. Too early for that to be a
So if it happens early, it doesn't count.
Let's go.
51-45.
Okay, cool. Let's go to a later call in the game when Michigan has the ball and they're driving for a chance to tie it and potentially win. And there is an obvious targeting penalty on the 4th down play. Clear as day, textbook targeting. The DB from TCU came through, crown of his helmet,
with 25
right
seconds
to
left?
the back of the dude's head, and they didn't call it on the field. TCU celebrating. They line up in victory formation. The ref blows the whistle and goes, the previous play is under review, which means it's targeting. You don't stop the game and then go review it and then say it's not targeting. They went and reviewed it and said it's not targeting. Like, it was the craziest thing I have ever seen. Like, that was
as soon as that happened, I had the same thought. I'm like, okay, well, it's targeting because they went back and reviewed it. They're not gonna do that and then just be like, no, just kidding, it wasn't targeting. That blew my mind that they were like, nah, just kidding. Game's over.
I realized they still had a decent amount of field to go, no timeouts left, but that keeps the drive going. It's 15 yards. It's a first down. It keeps the drive going. There's still hope. There's a possibility. I was just waiting. Like, in that drive, I was like, Michigan's going to score. It's going to happen. This is how it's going to go down. And then they didn't call targeting. I was like, oh, fuck. They just fucked over Michigan. I didn't see this coming. I thought they would fuck over TCU to get Michigan into the national championship because of bigger following, blah, blah, blah. But they fucked over Michigan to get TCU in. That was bananas to me. Mookie, you're not happy about it. Why are you making the faces? What's that for?
I don't give two shits. The right team won. I don't know what the problem is here. Like, making excuses, trying to, pad Jim Harbaugh's fucking khakis. Like, you can say whatever you want about targeting, not targeting. That's a tough call to make at that point in the game. I think, honestly,
not after review. Guys,
I think
it was tough. And then they had a chance to get it right. And they still were like,
all I'm saying is the refs let the moment get to them, and that happens sometimes. So, sure, even if you give them the flag, they're still gonna fucking shit down their leg like they did in the actual last play they had from scrimmage. I mean, come on, if you can't get that fucking right, like, then I don't care about any of this other bullshit. They weren't going to win that game. They were not the better team.
Michigan got hope. I know you don't like
good. Everybody has hope, Mike. Even the fucking Reds have hope on opening day.
I didn't say anything about hope. I said they got hosed.
Well, they deserve to. I don't care. Doesn't matter.
I know the Reds don't have hope.
Ohio State. That was a legitimate complaint in terms of targeting. You heard me.
No, I didn't.
But that was a 1 point game also. Like,
got hosed.
You can't call that on just one play.
Like, Cesar, that's what you absolutely can do. That's what you're supposed to do. Is you're supposed to fixate on one play and be like, if that went differently, this whole game's different. Trust me, I'm a Notre Dame fan. I've done it my entire life.
No, I'm a Texas fan. I've done it for the past fucking 12 years. But like, the thing that comes to mind is like, Bryce Young, like, one of those safety in the end zone this past year. But fucking Bert Auburn missed the field goal. Like, there's opportunities to come up to make up that mistake. But whatever, it didn't fucking happen. We lost. Like, I didn't lose. I fucking went crazy this weekend. The glacier
before we talk about gambling, yeah. Go ahead. You talk about your gambling victories in the background. I had a question, kind of, sort of, with gambling. It popped into my head this morning before thinking about the show tonight. Where in the wise guys top 10 ever did like TCU? Well, like, what were their best odds? Like, what did they start at? Like,
plus
out of all the rankings,
one.
I'll go.
No, but I mean, like, for our rankings,
they
like,
started to really close in towards the end of the year.
Okay.
Listen. You laugh at Ohio State for a minute. I'll go back through the wise guys rankings and I'll find it.
I've been laughing at Ohio State for 4 days.
I mean, I don't see what's so funny about that, because both those games won me a lot of fucking money, so I'm feeling good about them.
I mean, I just think it's funny that they were out here, like, and then the announcers kept saying it too and hyping them up. I mean, granted, Georgia did look dog shit on defense, but the funny part for Ohio State was it's like they're gonna leave it out all on the field. They're not, they're running all these plays on 4th down and blah 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 blah, and they're doing all this shit, and then seemingly the easiest thing, kicking the field goal. If that dude had booted tons of field goals that were much harder, he shanks that one from it was a fucking gimme. But the reason I didn't turn it off was because in college, kicks are never gimmies. Like, I always feel like the college kicker is much more susceptible, because Georgia's kicker looked like dog shit. I'm like, how did Georgia make it this far with a kicker that fucking bad? He was terrible. So for it to come back to Ruggins, and I also told that story too about him transferring from North Carolina State or whatever the bullshit is, whatever his bullshit backstory is, and I'm like, oh, this is just some transfer kid for Ohio State, and he's not going to work out because now he's ruined for the rest of his life. Yeah, well, that sucks.
Fox said he had a friend who was a Michigan fan who was flying back from the game in Arizona. Connecting flight was in Atlanta, plane full of sad Michigan fans.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That had to be the saltiest airplane in the skies. All right, Scott, here we go. I'm going to go through week by week and let you know where TCU was. Preseason, they were not in our top 10. Week 1, they are not in our top 10.
They weren't ranked till like week 6.
Not in our top 10. Week 3, still not in our top 10. Week 4, nothing. All right, let's go. Cesar said week 6 they were ranked. Not for us.
In general.
They weren't ranked for us. Here we go. So from week 6, they are not in our rankings, but then week 7, they have plus 5,000 odds. They debuted
Oh
on
my
the
God.
top 10 poll.
So week 7, we could have like really put in a bet that might pay off something stupid.
Yeah, we could have. Here's the crazy thing. They were plus 5,000 odds. That week, Georgia was plus 180. Like, that's how much better they think Georgia is than TCU at that point in time. Week 8, they were at plus 6,000. They dropped back a little bit, plus 6,000 in week 9. So if you'd got on them in week 8 or 9 when they lost, ooh, you had some cash to make. Week 10, they went to 3,500. Now we're starting to narrow down.
They didn't lose to the Big 12 championship.
20. What's that, Cesar?
They didn't lose to the Big 12 championship. They went undefeated.
Right, but they dropped. Their odds got randomly. They must have had a close game in there. Plus 2,500 in week 11. Week 12, they went to plus 1,800. Then plus 1,200 in week 13. And then finally, when it came to championship week, when we stopped doing the poll, plus 1,500 to win.
So what seed would they have been in if there was a 12-team playoff this year?
God, now I got to do that.
I'm sorry, dude.
Why is there so much math?
There would have been 3 or 4 regardless because they're an undefeated conference. Oh no,
no, that's what I'm saying.
No,
they were supposed to play like Alabama. Like they would have been matched up against Alabama. No, I'm not saying that they wouldn't have won the game. I'm just curious what seed they were supposed to have. Like if the 12 team existed, like they were 4, so they got the shot. But I think in the 12 team they were going to be like a 6 seed or something like that, if I remember correctly.
Scott over here trying to make a garden talking about all these seeds.
Dog.
What?
We really need it.
I'm going through the grieving process right now.
Scott, I think our last rankings are incorrect because it's got TCU at the 3 seed. I think the last time we did that 12 team, it was wrong because they did not win that Big 12 championship.
They stayed at 3 though because USC lost. So Ohio State went to 4.
Dude, okay. USC lost. Boy, did they ever lose. Those fuckers. Let's hear it, Cesar.
I picked my horse from week fucking 2 of the season. If you go to the end of the show, I'll be like, Tulane. And what fucking happened? Whoosh! 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 A fucking tsunami happened. The green wave happened. I've been telling everyone I was laughed at. I was ridiculed. I was led astray by all my friends telling me, you're a fucking dumbass. You think Tulane's going to beat USC. Is Caleb not going to play? I was like, what if he fucking plays, bro? That defense is Swiss fucking cheese. And I said, Tajay Spears over yards. It doesn't matter what the fuck it was. It could have been 2,000 yards over. And I would have said, smash it, hammer it, pull the switch. That's exactly what happened. Why? Because he went fucking off. Round 7, fantasy football running back, Tajay Spears.
Wait,
oh my God, what a beautiful game to watch. That USC defense, frauds. Lincoln Riley, he's not really a fraud, but his choice of defensive coordinators, fraud. Red and yellow, fraud. That whole program, fraud.
Who's the coordinator?
Alex Grinch.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
No, they're not my second team. They were my wagon for the year gambling.
They were his bank wagon.
I did not look on Twitter to see how the USC fans were melting down, but Lincoln Riley losing in the Pac-12 championship and then losing to that game to Tulane, USC fans had to be going through it, man. They had to be feeling feelings. And I love that the questions were asked to Caleb Williams if he was going to have anything painted on his nails for that game because he came out that Pac-12 championship with the fuck Utah on his nails. And they were like, you got anything on your nails this week? And he's like, no, I'm just clear. And then they lost. And it's probably a good thing you didn't have like fuck Tulane on there.
Can I say something about USC? Like,
yes.
Not really analytical wise, but Caleb Williams fills so many of their like dog shit holes that they have on that fucking team. That defense is so fucking bad. And I was watching the game, and I was like, I was watching the highlights of the game. I was at work. How the fuck is Caleb Williams doing this thing? You remember Joe Burrow at LSU? He'd be like running around and shit, just throw the ball like fucking 7,000 yards, and then Jettas or fucking Jamar Chase would catch a touchdown. That's what I was watching, but like a faster version of Joe Burrow.
Yes.
Caleb was all over the fucking place. I was like, bro, this guy's like a mixed Joe Burrow.
I was blown away. I turned off the game after Williams should have been sacked, broke free from the pocket, ran out to the sidelines, avoided another sack on his way to the sidelines, heaved one like 35, 40 yards down the field. His wide receiver went around the defender to make the catch, made an insane catch, somehow stayed in bounds. And I was like, you know what? This is over. There is no way. So then I checked later and I was like, what the fuck just happened here? This is crazy. Also, as a Notre Dame fan, that was great to see.
Oh, it's great. It's great to see USC get their holes filled.
No, don't brag too much, because Tulane would have fucking washed y'all's asses too. They would have washed Texas too. I'll be the first to admit. Tulane is the real fucking deal. Not anymore, though, because this season's over.
I was going to say, yeah, they're going to get next year, though. Like, sorry to burst your bubble, but I guess you did call your shot of this is your bank wagon for the year.
So wait, who should have been? Who should Tulane? Which spot should they have taken in the Final Four? Ohio State or Michigan?
Ohio
Cesar.
State.
Michigan, easy. Those clowns, they didn't even belong.
He didn't even blink. He was like Ohio State.
Both of them, both Mookie and Cesar at the same time. They said opposite teams, but at the same time. Ohio State, Michigan. Okay.
That's the key, man. If you say it with confidence, people will believe you.
I know college football math isn't always right. It's usually never right. But USC fucking pissed and shat all over Notre Dame. And fucking Tulane shat on USC. Like, it was beautiful. And if USC chokes, Notre Dame chokes times 5 more than USC does. And so does Texas. I'm self-aware.
I mean, I see your logic there, but I don't remember Notre Dame getting pounded by USC, and they had multiple weeks to prepare for their bowl game. They looked pretty good. So I don't know, dude. I don't see it that way.
Yeah, but USC just didn't care.
He's self-aware,
lost, man.
That's what
I don't watch the games. I know we're going to lose.
USC fans were saying that on Twitter.
They weren't really up for it, man.
When they didn't get the playoff, they were just like, well, whatever.
That old Alabama excuse, baby.
Oh, you can tell they weren't up for it. They didn't paint their nails.
Well, we lost to Utah, so fuck it. Whatever.
Clear as day.
Cool. You know, we got to play this game because they're making us.
Roll
Tulane.
Tide
Like, Tulane had something to play for.
Wave.
Tulane had something to play for. We didn't.
What happened?
That has been the line ever since Boise State beat Oklahoma in the FBS Bowl. It's been, well, but they didn't really try that hard. Like, they didn't really care.
Which is so fucking stupid, because in today's day and age, if you're not going to try very hard, just sit the fucking game out. Like, nobody cares. Everyone's doing it, man. Like,
well, you can't sit it out if you're coming back next year. You can sit it out.
I was going to say, not only that, that's just a poor man's excuse. Like, they all
an ankle in practice. I mean, come on, dude.
Legit, the only ones who don't care are the coaches who get a new job just before the bowl game, or the players who sit out for the draft. Everybody who plays in that game gives a fuck.
I do think the guys who coach in the game don't care. They're just like, whatever. I
think they try stuff out. They experiment a lot in bowl games with new sets and stuff like that, new motions and whatnot.
Beamer. Yeah, they do. The Beamer ball fucking 2.0 on Friday. That son of a bitch. I can't believe, man, that Notre Dame fell for that fake punt for a touchdown. God, was that brutal.
Oh, yeah. I missed
They're lining up to kick it inside the 40, inside Notre Dame's 40. It's like, hey, this is probably a fake that they could kick a field goal from here. And instead, Notre Dame's just like, let's send the house. Like a bunch of hey, I think we can block this one, guys. They're trying to coffin corner us here.
All blitz, everybody. All blitz.
But you know what, though? Marcus Freeman is still smoke.
He is a dog. I'm telling you, that's my New Year's resolution, is just try to get into Marcus Freeman shape in the gym. That's my goal. Cesar, you put your hand up awkwardly.
This is for Tulane. It was a dog shit shot. It's got like lime in it, but it was green, and the blue beer bottle. Thank you, Tulane. Thank you, Tajay Spears. Thank you, Michael Pratt, for all the money this year. I really appreciate it. Sauce.
And Gabe with the correct take about
as you cut away
won
while
the
he takes
game.
the shot.
I know I did. I did that on purpose just to get bad. I made him
harsh.
take a bad shot for nobody.
No, I took it for Tulane.
Gabe saying they won the game. They get a legit QB next year. Mookie looking at next season. Yes, you get the ACC passing leader.
Oh, that's right. So did Hartman finally actually sign?
I don't know if he actually signed.
Did he
Sam
click
Hartman
the
to Notre
button?
Dame?
Because you
For
know it's
real?
Yes, Hartman.
Yeah.
to Notre
Shit, that
Dame.
makes y'all good.
it's gonna be, dude. It's gonna be filthy. Like,
Oh my god.
we got
Y'all
most
might
of our
win- How many
backfield
wins did
back.
y'all get? How many did y'all win
Almost
this
all of the
year?
backfield's back. That
Yeah.
all 3 running backs are back. You've got a decent receiving core, but you don't need great receivers when you've got a quarterback like that.
Well, and you've got depth at wide receiver too, because Brandon Lindsey's going to be back for like his 9th season. So you've got a veteran right there to hold down the locker room. So you're covered. The only thing I'm a little bit worried about is we're going to be really young at tight end. But again, we just grow those boys in those fields in Indiana. Like, it's not a problem.
Cool.
Yeah,
So
but-
3 losses on deck. Got it.
Yeah, probably right, Scott.
Scott,
It's gonna
did
be
you
Texas Notre
see?
Dame next year in a bowl game.
Did you see Mike Locksley, the head coach from Maryland? So the Duke's Mayo Bowl, which is my favorite bowl
Hands
game
down.
of all bowl games, is the Duke's Mayo Bowl, simply because at the end of the game, they dump 4 gallons of mayonnaise on the winning coach's head. It is my favorite tradition in all of bowl history. Last year, they smacked Beamer in the head with the bucket. Like, the girls couldn't lift it up, and they jacked him in the head. And he was like, it actually really hurt. Like, my head really hurts right now. So not only did he get mayonnaise poured on him, but he also got a slight concussion. There was also the incident, I think it was the Wisconsin team that won it, and they were dancing with the trophy in the locker room and then dropped it and shattered the trophy. So then they just taped a Duke's Mayo bottle to the top of the base, and that was their trophy until they could get a new one. It's such a good goddamn bowl game. But this year, the Maryland coach wins, and he goes to take his Mayo Bath. And what does this son of a bitch do? He puts on one of those goddamn big hats that we saw in the Commanders and took his Mayo Bath with that on. That is a coward move. You're a bitch ass move, Mike Locksley. Bitch ass move.
Bitch ass hoe.
I was just sitting there thinking about how, like, we were talking about injuries to open the show and I don't want to see him and it's harsh and all that thing, but give me all the coaches' injuries. Like, I need more coaches getting concussed by stupid players doing things like this. Like, just slapping. I got my ass slapped too hard. I'm not going to be able to sit down for a couple of weeks. I got concussed by the Gatorade bath. Somebody like, I got waterboarded by the fucking Gatorade bath. Just something like,
Holy shit.
oh, damn.
I wasn't expecting that.
I
But
think
so-
they took out Charlie Weiss's ACL one year on the side.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, more
How did he do to tear it? How fast
that-
could he run?
Like,
Oh, no,
not-
he
no,
wasn't
there's no
running,
such thing as
Cesar.
run
Somebody
in
ran
Charlie.
into him and took out his ACL. Like, he got knocked.
He couldn't get out of the way.
Yeah,
fast
remember when he was on
enough
the
or even fall
sidelines
gracefully.
with the crutches? I remember that.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
Charlie
Scott,
was
you-
hobbling around.
So I'm assuming you didn't actually watch any of the Duke's Mayo Bowl, because
God,
during
no.
the bowl they were showing it that they had I think they had 2 people who had won a contest, because now it's like big enough that they can like sell tickets to be the Duke's Mayo dumpers, and then they showed them practicing the day before the bowl game, dumping the mayo onto just like a mannequin or some shit because of last year. So again, they took some serious precautions this year with that mayo dump, given what happened to Beamer.
I'm not upset about what happened in Beamer.
Oh, me neither. It was hilarious and the best thing I've ever seen. You're
Wait,
right. The big
when
hat was
did-
a huge cop out.
When did
Pun
Sean
not intended.
McVay get smacked?
That's what I was going to ask you, because I don't remember that. Sean McVay got
I
smacked,
missed that.
According to Matt Barr, and
He
he
means
said
in
he
the
loved every second.
I mean,
of it.
I need to Google that. This is one worth Googling. Like, get the Caesar Google count up. Sean McVay getting smacked. Let me see this.
Well, it's just
love
going to
it.
be his ex-wife.
Scott normally is just along for the ride for the show.
Yeah.
that's
I'm not
right.
looking up.
No, I didn't see it. I don't know if that's right. I just said it. I don't care. And then as soon as he hears that Sean McVay got run,
It was a month ago. Here we go. It was a month
Google.
ago.
All right, we're gonna get your live reaction to watching the video.
Well, I got to
Sean
get this
McVay's
stupid
gonna
ad
go.
out of the way, but here we go. Oh!
What the fuck? Why aren't you wearing socks?
Oh my God! It was only a 6-second clip. His own player smoked him in the head with his helmet.
Oh, that's great. All right, so hold it. So just Sean McVay smack.
Oh yes,
And
just
that's not
Sean
even-
McVay smacked. It
Is
was a
that
month
even
ago.
the one that Matt Barr is talking about?
I don't
Because he
even
said
know.
Player running onto the field, absolutely.
Yes.
Oh
This
yeah,
is-
I've seen this
yes.
one. Yeah,
This is what it was. It's just the helmet. The dude's putting on his helmet, getting ready to run
dude,
the game.
it
Sean
was
McVay's
Bobby
walking by,
Wagner.
just
I'm pretty sure.
boom. No, that's not Bobby Wagner. His dreads are too long.
54.
Isn't that Fred Warner?
No,
Oh, Fred
Fred Warner
Warner.
plays for the 49ers. God.
Isn't that
Wow,
a 49er?
wait a second. Did you just say?
No, and it's 49.
Hang
God.
on, Cesar.
Race card.
Oh, it is.
What do you
49.
mean? You said longer
49.
dreads.
You didn't even get the number right.
It's
I
54,
knew-
no?
No, his number was 49. Bobby Wagner's 52. And it's the wrong team, Caesar. Bobby Wagner.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I heard Bobby Wagner and I was like, that makes no sense. He plays for the Rams. And I was like, maybe it was a 49er. I was like, Fred Warner.
Roger
No,
Carter
Fred
Jr.
Warner plays for the Niners.
No, this can't be right. It says he's a tight end. That guy wasn't a
And
tight
hey,
end.
he was wearing number 49. So in spirit, we smacked Sean McVay.
I'm marking this moment down because Scott reacted to that was absolute gold.
That smack was absolute gold. I don't know how I missed that. That's good stuff.
Oh,
Thank
I'm gonna-
you, Matt Meyer.
What's this?
Go ahead.
What's
Drew.
this Steve Sarkisian story? That,
yeah,
Oh,
there's
you
a-
didn't hear
yeah,
about that?
yeah.
Yes,
I did
so,
not.
The Texas was
What?
coming out of the tunnel. Yeah, thank you, Pac, for putting this out. What about Texas coach Steve
Fuck.
Sarkisian and
Nah,
that
listen to
the
Caesar.
TV guy for touching him in the tunnel? So the Texas is in the tunnel. They're getting ready to come out, and TV handles everything. So they tell them when they're allowed to run out because that's when the production crew is ready to announce and blah blah blah. So Sark is like getting really close and he keeps inching forward. And this TV guy just sort of puts his hands up and he's like, whoa, like, hang on, we're not ready yet. And Sark loses his goddamn mind. Just gets right in the guy's face, yells at him for touching him. The guy was like, I'm holding you by, this is my job, bro. Like, this is what I'm supposed to do. It was almost like Sark did like a double shot and then somebody touched him.
Son of a bitch, you stole it.
Exactly
I was like,
what
as soon as
it
he
seemed
stops talking, I'm making a joke about him being drunk at the time. God damn it.
I mean, he had that rage in his eye. He might have been drinking some tequila.
I saw the look in your eyes, Scott. I saw the look. I was like, I got to get the joke in first.
You
Caesar.
motherfucker.
Caesar, defend your shit, man. What is happening?
There's like, as I've been saying, I'm self-aware. It was I saw it after the game and I was like, oh, what a fucking hardo move to do. I was like, bro, like for real, really?
Creepy.
As
Probably
someone
like
who's
that.
worked like events and just been there along for the ride and just telling guys like, hey, hold up, I'll let you know when to go. Someone coming into my face like that, all credit in the world to the Alamo Bowl employee who was probably a fucking intern. But,
That's true.
Texas coaches, ha 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 ha. But I mean,
I love Gabe giving you all of the shit in the comments.
no,
section.
but I don't know what
Week
for.
out.
I don't know what for. Like Notre Dame, be so fucking proud of your preseason ranked number 5 team escaping in the fucking Gator Bowl. Like, yeah, I lost the Alamo Bowl. Whoa, sucks so much. I can't believe I lost the Alamo Bowl. Y'all motherfuckers supposed to be in the playoff or contention, not the fucking Gator Bowl. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Hey, dog. All I gotta say is great teams cover.
You got me
Hit the
there.
over on our win total, covered on the bowl game. I mean, yeah, you say
We
whatever you
met
want about
expectations.
preseason.
We met expectations.
We met expectations. That all
No, you
all you
didn't.
ever
Y'all
want in life.
disappointed.
We did not meet expectations.
Well, but again,
Although
Caesar,
funny. It's kind of funny, Mookie, because I did think Notre Dame was going to have 3 losses at the beginning of the year, but I did not expect them to be the losses that they did have. I
Yeah.
figured Ohio State, Clemson, USC. Those were what I marked down as like those are L's. So it was just, that Stanford one I don't really like think about very much. The Marshall one I really don't like to think about. It was misplaced L's is where it was. That's all.
Yeah, I don't know what to do for next year's schedule either, though, because like,
Who are non-conference games?
what?
Ohio State.
Ohio
Oh,
State?
yeah, all of them are non-conference, but
Yeah,
no, we got Ohio State.
I fucked up. I realized that's
Who's your hey independent team? Who's your non-conference game?
What's your
I
non-conference
said it and I
schedule
was like,
look like?
fuck. I was like, fuck. Like the good ones.
The good ones. Well,
Well, the ones above 500.
all of them.
I think just Ohio State is the good one. Ohio
Well,
State,
that's
as a matter of fact, I
Syracuse.
think
No, but
next
I'm
year,
pretty
pretty sure next year Notre Dame plays an FCS school for the first time in school history. I think that's on the calendar for next year, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow. It's about
they're bringing in an HBCU to play, which is actually pretty badass.
I'm sure they'll get treated with kindness and respect.
Oh yeah, the Christians. I would never assume that they treat people like shit.
The Catholics, but close enough.
Oh fuck, same thing.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's like, what's the difference, really?
Yeah, there's none, but you know.
I'm agnostic, brother. I don't know.
Oh, you know. High five.
Woohoo! Minorities.
Okay, well now I know for the next 20 minutes I just need to teach you guys about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. It all
Bro,
started
go get your scooter. I'm not trying to listen
in
to this.
NIL we trust.
in NIL.
I go to church like all the fucking time now that it's legal in Ohio. So like I am praying constantly.
Wow.
You fucking dickhead.
Wow.
I will say though, the nope, never mind. Mm-mm.
No,
I did hit the 2 like intro promo bets for Ohio on Monday Night Football because both DraftKings and FanDuel were running some shit where it was like an odds booster.
Okay,
So,
let's talk about that for a second because I also took that bet that DraftKings put up for Monday Night Football that was like, if the Bengals score, double your money. And I was like,
that was literally it. If they score a point.
Cool. Yeah, just any point, double your money. And I was like, I'm going to opt in for this one because, the Bengals are going to score. They might lose 37-3, but Money Mac is going to double my money here, and I'm fine with that. So I opted in. I placed the bet. And then Cincinnati scores. It's 7-0. I get the notification that the bet. I look, and it was like, you've won $20.04. And I was like, wait a second. Why did I only win 4 cents on this bet? It didn't take my double opt-in. It just had me bet the minus 20,000 odds of scoring a point in the game. I am so fucking pissed, dude.
Dude, okay.
I'm so mad.
Here, let me get at you on this one, Mike, because I got your back, bro. Like, I really am excited about all of the options and basically the way they've taken these apps and just made them be, you tell us how you want to give us your money. We'll take whatever fucking action you want. Like, again, I'm going to try to be sensitive, but I'm a little shocked there hasn't been a prop of whether this game gets played again or not. Like, they'll take action on anything, but the way it's all set up is so motherfucking confusing. Like, I honestly think that the illegal books have a better experience and make it more straightforward to understand what the fuck's going on. Because, just like Gabe's saying in the chat, not only do you have to like opt in for the thing, but then when you go to the bet slip, you have to like toggle it on. Because you can also
I did because that wasn't the first odds boost thing that I had done. That was the second odds boost bet that I had made, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm doing this one. This is double. Let's just double this money here." And they only they didn't take it. I was so mad.
Again,
I won 4 cents on the bet. I was like, "You."
First of all, why were you only betting 2 pennies? You got to max that shit out, bro.
I did $20. I just put $20 on it because I was like, this will give me 40 in the account. But it was minus 20,000 odds. So you bet 20 to win 4 cents. Like that.
With the booster, though, it would have been solid. Like, I don't know, but now I got all this money sitting in there.
That's the worst thing about it. That's the first bet that ever hit for me legally. Like that was the first one that cleared. I've lost every other bet I've placed. That was
Now imagine if that bet hadn't hit.
Imagine they got shut out.
Yeah.
It's just hearing minus 20,000 is like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
And then it's because I've done the bozo package before too, where it's like a 2-leg parlay of like minus 400 favorites, and they don't hit. Sometimes you're just sitting at your screen like, what the fuck am I doing with my life?
Well, as a lot of people pointed out,
this weekend now that it's free or now that it's legal.
No.
Oh.
No, I just like to laugh at bad beats. Like I don't fucking gamble. Like, I don't want to be the guy you guys are laughing at every week. You guys are like, oh, I got X amount into my parlay. I'm like,
I was ridiculed for that.
I'm the guy who loses his parlay on the first quarter of whatever.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, that's me.
Sunday, I put a parlay in on the Browns game because I'm sitting there with my parents. I'm like, I'm going to watch the Browns game with my dad and my brother. So I put a parlay in on the Browns game. Over 13.5 in the first half. Myles Garrett to get a sack and a Chubb to get a touchdown. Like, that was the parlay I put in. In the first half, they scored like 10 points total, and I lost the parlay right off the rip. And then my dumbass nephew comes upstairs in the second half, and he's like, "You got your Myles Garrett sack?" I'm like, "I already."
Oh, you fucking dickhead! Oh my god, my brother did that once, and he learned his lesson. I tell him what I have, and he listens. He sits down. Something good happens. He looks at me for a response. If I go fuck yeah, he's like, yeah. If something bad happens, he just sits and he goes, fuck.
You know what? This is beautiful, though. I love to see that across the board, we're grooming the next generation of degenerates. Like, this is really encouraging, guys.
My nephew, I sat down with him to be like, all right, what do we do? We think Myles.
What do we do? Yes, what do we do? What do we do? Hey, so what the fuck do you think is going on here, Widow? Do you think they're going to make a basket? Do you think they're going to reach their points at halftime or not? Well, I don't think they are, man. I was like, you know, fuck it, under.
Undo. Control Z. I gotta give him credit though. The shit does update quick, which helps, be able to double down or, claw back to even.
It's been a rough weekend. The Berlin.
It has not been a rough start of the year for the intern.
At least I got that 4 cents, gentlemen. That's all I know. Boosted my account up by an extra 4 cents.
What are you gonna buy with those 4 cents?
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm gonna have to really think about it. Let's talk baseball.
Here's the pitch. Oh shit.
Scott, for the third year in a row, Ron Cook has submitted a blank MLB Hall of Fame ballot. The last two guys that he voted for was Mariano Rivera. That was like his only vote. And then Derek Jeter. That was his only vote. And he has not voted for anybody in the last 3 classes. Is it time for us to change how we do Hall of Fame voting, Scott? Because
past time.
Some bullshit.
It's past time. These fucking OWGs just sitting there in their high and mighty thrones, submitting their blank ballots and their bullshit excuses for only voting for. So, like, get these guys out of here, dude. Give me a Hall of Fame ballot vote. Like, give the show one. Like, give it to somebody who's gonna use it responsibly. If you're not gonna vote on anybody, then just get the fuck out of here.
It's absolutely ridiculous to see them turn in a blank ballot. That's something that Mookie he wouldn't even do that. Mookie, who would you vote for in this Hall of Fame class?
That's a Google.
Is Ken Griffey Jr.
That's a Google, says Cesar. And not even asked him the question. That's a Google.
I'm trying to see who's in the class so I can make a.
Just say, who the fuck cares, honestly, though? Like, the Baseball Hall of Fame is the most perverted and pointless exercise I've ever seen.
Big Papi.
I am sorry. That is not correct, Drew. The Basketball Hall of Fame
is the most
ridiculous, pointless.
Is that a thing? I don't know.
Yeah, the National Basketball Hall of Fame.
Because it's the Basketball Hall of Fame, so everything just gets skewed. They just throw everybody into one big pot. Like, I don't like the Basketball Hall of Fame.
They're like, this guy was great in college. He didn't do very much in the pros, but he was so good in college that you're in the Basketball Hall of Fame. And then they're like, this guy was decent in college, decent in the pros, but he won like 5 gold medals. So guess what?
Yeah, like it's like anybody gets in. I'm like, if you picked up a ball and can dribble with both hands, which I cannot, you're in the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Dribble, Scott.
That's why I'm not in the Basketball Hall of Fame, because I can't dribble.
Oh yeah, you're like my friend Bear.
Can't go left.
I cannot go left. They're like, nope. This half black son of a bitch is not getting into the Basketball Hall of Fame.
we know which half, right? Is that what you're saying?
The black half, sadly.
I mean,
guys,
you go left. So.
Do you know who is making his first appearance on the ballot this year? And hopefully not his last appearance on the ballot unless he gets elected. Cincinnati Reds legend Bronson Arroyo is on the ballot.
Wow, they're really to that era already, huh?
Well, they're to that era, and also got to remember, like, the qualifications for getting on the ballot are low.
Like, you played and you can bunt and pitch.
No, I mean, you've got to have, like, done some things to, like, get on there. Like, I mean, Bronson Arroyo has his World Series rings and whatnot. But I mean, just to get on the ballot is one thing. Like actually getting anywhere close to getting elected is completely different. But I would vote for Bronson Arroyo right now.
Hell yeah, you would. And Matt Barr with the correct reason why. Send the voters his voicemail. Those OWs.
They would.
Hey, you know what? I like this guy.
Actually,
I
we
like
should
the
just
cut of his
play.
jib.
We should just play that voicemail for the voters, and it'd be like that guy would be like, you know what? Give me my ballot back. I got one thing. I got an amendment to make. I didn't vote for anybody, but I have some new information that's come to light.
Cesar, you look confused. Why are you?
It's because I'm looking at the list of nominees, whatever the fuck they're called, and there's a bunch of people that played baseball when I was already alive.
Yeah, welcome to getting fucking old, bro.
Jared Weaver. Jared Weaver wasn't playing like in 2011.
Johnny Peralta is on the list.
Jahani is on
Mike
the list.
Napoli, didn't he play like 2013?
Oh my God.
How long is the age? Like, what's the year discrepancy that
It's only you retire and then it's 5 years after you retire.
That's it?
There's no age. Yeah, it's just
shit. That was like 15.
After that, you're eligible.
That's why they're all old when they make their speech and shit. But no, okay. Cool.
Manny Ramirez is on the ballot. Like Manny
Good old
Ramirez,
man.
Alex Rodriguez.
Damn.
Man, yes, thank you, Drew. Through your
It's like all players that
Hey, the knuckleball guy is on here.
R.A. Dickey, yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
yeah.
The knuckleball guy.
I also have a question.
I'm more impressed that you knew that. Like,
I am very impressed by
Well, yeah, that shows a whole fucking special on ESPN on Sports Center for like a whole hour. Fucking sports science and shit.
Jason Worth is in the ballot.
How old is the average Hall of Fame voter? Like, that's a real question.
Voter,
Dead.
the average voter, yeah, he's
Dead.
106.
Yeah. It's awful.
It's only 3 days away.
It's baseball writers, Cesar. So how old do you think they are? These are guys that work for
75.
newspapers that write about baseball.
75.
It's gotta be.
That sounds about right.
Goddamn 47.
More importantly, hold on. Is this true? Matt's saying that Arroyo, like, he's got a Cy Young? I don't remember that.
I don't
I
remember.
mean, they just give trophies.
Where's he?
Or was it talking? I mean,
Hispanic
Matt could have been talking about somebody else. It could have been like Jared. It could have been the Jared Weaver thing that got
Or R.A. Dickey, or
Yeah, all right, Dickey. Like, I mean, but I was just like, wait a minute. Bronson didn't have a Cy Young, right? Like, I don't remember that at all. If he did,
no, he. Here you go. According to his bio on the Baseball Hall website, he finished 12th in the National League Cy Young Award voting in 2010, and also won Gold Glove Award that year. That was.
Hey, there you go.
Damn,
That's hardware.
In the Cy Young voting.
He's come 11 people closer than any of us have to winning a Cy Young, though. So he's got that going for him.
He also, Bronson Arroyo was just an innings eater. Like, they were like, listen,
yes.
you are going to go out there and you're going to throw 200 innings this season, and we're going to love you for it. And who cares that you gave up 5 runs? We're going to try to score 6. Like, that's just how it's going to be when you're on the mound, BA. And he was like, all right, cool, I got you. And then he probably shot himself up with something and went out there and threw 89-mile-an-hour junk all over the goddamn place. And now he's on the Hall of Fame ballot, and I would vote for him today. I would do it right now if I had to vote.
Wouldn't even think twice. I mean, I would vote him in just for when he was with the Red Sox and he had his braids, and for being the one that A-Rod, knocked the ball out of his hands.
Yes.
Piece of shit. So yeah.
That I showed Mookie's mom my R.A. Dickey.
My all right, Dickey. Like, it's not impressive.
Like, this is what I'm saying. This is the best y'all got for baseball talk. I mean, come on. Jesus.
Shout out Lil Dickey though.
Lil Dickey's the shit.
Dude, this is a great take from Pac. If Hall of Fame was like the Miss America pageant and Bronson could play his guitar for the talent section, he's in. He absolutely. He just covered a little Pearl Jam.
Oh,
and
yeah.
boom, they are in.
There's a picture.
I was
on
gonna say,
Wikipedia.
if you got points for panty dropping on going in the Hall of Fame, like Bronson would have that shit. He'd be first ballot. Like,
I
there's
thought
no
Kurt
doubt.
Cobain.
Being an all-around good dude. Like, this guy sat in the basement for 2 hours twice with us, Scott. Like, that's insane to me. The guy deserves.
Wait, what? Yeah,
You
he's
didn't
Hall
know
of Fame
that?
just for
Oh,
that.
wow.
Oh, the reason we're spending so much time talking about Bronson Arroyo is he's a friend of the show, and we mean like actual friend. Like, he's been on the show multiple times. He's left us a
and not
voicemail.
Acquaintance, maybe.
No, not acquaintance. This man
No,
sat
friend?
I
in
was
the
gonna say,
basement
he's a friend of the
twice.
show.
He came to the house. It wasn't like, oh yeah, just call me on the phone and I'll talk to you for 10 minutes or whatever. He came to the house, sat in the basement, and hung out for 2 hours, and then stayed afterwards.
And pre-show for both of those, he was there long enough to just sit there and talk to me about baseball and random dumbass questions that I had.
So he's a cool guy.
He's cool
He is a
as
very cool
shit.
guy. He told us stories about how
and he also plays a really good guitar and sings. Like, on
Yeah, the
top.
picture of him on Wikipedia looks like Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, he's just a badass.
He's awesome.
Okay,
Your
fuck with this guy
guys'
then.
panties
Fuck
are
yeah.
so wet right now. It's
He told
hilarious.
us stories about how when
My
he
panties are
was
still
chatting-
wet. Like, just talking about it. Like, what are you talking
That's what I'm
about?
saying. Like you and Mike are
Like,
gushing.
His
everywhere.
number is in my phone. Like, I could text Bronson Arroyo right now. You know how many other Major League Baseball players I have in my phone? 0. So there's that.
Also, I made Scott give me his number just so that I could have it in my phone. I've never texted him, but I've got it in my phone too, just so that I can say I've got Bronson.
And
Arroyo.
I'm gonna get a
I'm not
fake
even
Bronson
mad at
Arroyo
you.
jersey.
Like,
Fuck it.
like that's a good play. Like, I would have done the same
I
fucking
just
thing.
want to have an experience where I'm going through my contact list in front of somebody and they go, "Wait, did that just say Bronson Arroyo?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, you know, he's on the show a couple of
And it's
times."
it's right at the top with the alphabetical order. So it almost always comes up. And I'm always like, oh shit, that's right. I know Bronson Arroyo. Good time.
He comes in like right before my brother, who's in the phone, is Cheese. So it's like Bronson Arroyo.
What a dog shit nickname. I'm not gonna lie.
No, it's a great nickname because I told I was making my kids say Famunda Cheese to my brother. And then he just started calling him Cheese afterwards.
Okay, perfect. That's a great nickname.
All right, Scott, real quick before we get out of here, the fuck's going on with this Carlos Correa thing, man? What is happening?
He's still not signed.
His knee is something, and the Mets or something. I have no idea. Like,
His knee can't be worse than mine.
I just saw a tweet that said like the deal, if they sign it, it's going to be dramatically different than what was initially announced. Well, no fucking shit. His knee might be Swiss cheese, but like, it was what, 2 or 3 weeks ago now? Like, what the hell is taking so long to figure this shit out?
I just love that the Giants were like hard pass. We did this. We did our
the Mets are still
hard pass, and the Mets were like, "We're in," and then they were like, "Wait, I think we fucked up. I don't know if we're in yet, but we're still probably in, but just not as much as we were before.
It's not all the way in.
We're
We're just a tip.
That reminds me of a funny story.
Mookie, what do you think about Carlos Correa's deal? Well, what do you think he's going to get out of this?
I don't
You
know.
didn't get a laugh out of not all the way in.
Dynamite drop in. Cesar, Carlos Correa, your take.
It's sort of, I laughed when you're like, "Am I in? I might be all the way in." It reminded me. When was it? I was 20.
Did you get a survey response on this one? That's all we
Yeah,
need
it
to
was
know.
the first time. I'm a late bloomer.
Your first survey response. So your cherry response.
Yeah, I was 20. I was a late bloomer.
Oh, wait. So you've used the forum with every partner?
Yeah, it's been a fun
Damn.
2-3 years.
That's some serious dedication and consistency.
But I was like, is it all the way in?
Late bloomer. I didn't know it was my shit. I was 21. But I didn't know it was in, God damn it.
Let's go, Rhea.
I was like, is it all the way in? And I don't know what the fuck I was doing, bro. I was stressing the fuck out. I had a lot to live up to.
You asked.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That's the homie,
you
bro.
Is it all the way in?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I looked down and it wasn't, but I just wanted to make sure she was chilling.
I wanted to make sure she was chilling.
I looked down and I knew it wasn't there, but he made some faces like this shit kind of hurt. I was like, well, fuck. Like, are you good? Like, are we chilling?
This is the total McLovin. Like, this is the scene out of Superbad. Like,
My friends, that's kind of like my life. I'm just saying.
Guys, new spinoff. Like Mookie and the dog, sure, you guys can go do that. Mookie the dog, roof, roof. But now we need just a Cesar answers your sex questions segment. Where he
I can answer any questions. Any questions.
he's Dr.
I'm a smart
Drew
guy.
born after 2000.
I'm a smart guy. I promise. I'm a smart guy.
I want people to write in with their sex questions for Cesar.
Oh, boy.
And Cesar answers their sex questions in a segment either on the show or something that we do as additional content.
We're calling it Dear Caesar. We're
Yeah.
calling it
Dear
Caesar.
Caesar.
Or Dear Dog.
Dear dog.
Dear Dog, I want to know if it's all the way in. I looked down and I couldn't really tell.
No,
But
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said,
is she chilling?
I said, I looked all the way. I looked down and I saw that it wasn't all the way in, but there was some weird shit. There was some weird noises, so I wanted to make sure she was chilling. So I asked, "They like, are you good? Is it all the way in?" And then, well, I mean, I just took it another level just to make sure.
Dear Dog.
It's all about comfortability here.
That's the new show.
I'm
Dear
a big
Dog.
comfortable person. I want to make sure everyone's having a great time.
I want to make sure everyone.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, that seems like
How
a
many
good
people were in the room?
2.
Okay, wow.
Everyone was in the room.
You had a lot on your hands, huh?
Yeah.
Fire
At
up
the
this-
time I did, she was going crazy.
Was it a lot in
Talk
the
about
bowl?
these beers that we were drinking. Scott, we had this week is week 3 of the Mountain Dew variety pack. We had the Mountain Dew watermelon. Would you put it all the way in with Mountain Dew watermelon?
No, I would not make this another notch on my bedpost, staying with the respectful theme. I would respectfully decline at the watermelon Mountain Dew's advances.
Mookie, how you feeling about the watermelon Mountain Dew?
I mean, I'd definitely put it all the way in, but I don't know if that'd be super weird if she's chilling because, again, I've had better, but why not?
Caesar, what were you drinking tonight?
I drank.
Skip the 40-minute description on the
I
can.
skipped.
He drank blue and green.
I drink blue and green for fucking Tulane. But also, I do know who Kurt Cobain is because there's some people that transcend time and space, and Kurt Cobain is one of
He
them.
was born before 2000, so
Yeah,
I'm
but he
confused.
transcends time and space. So shout out Kurt Cobain, shout out Nirvana.
He didn't.
Also,
he-
I'm watching the Celtics this weekend. Jason Tatum over points. Jaylen Brown over points if they play.
If they play.
hard to be under points if you don't play.
This Mountain Dew, look, so far I have the power rankings. The original is number 1. The blackberry is number 2. Watermelon is number 3. So, like, if I had to convert that to what I hook up with this beer, this is like if you go to the bar and your friend really wants to hook up with somebody, so they take the original, and then your other friend takes the other friend in the group, so he gets the black cherry, and you're just stuck with what's left over.
You're
That's
stuck
what
with
this watermelon.
You're saying the watermelon is the fat friend.
No, she's
Got
a
it.
grenade. I have a story about this too. So there's this one time that Bear was there. Bear was there. He had gone up to Austin, and we went out, and then we ended up at this one bar, and the chick comes up to me and she's like, "Hey, do you have a girlfriend?" At the time, I didn't. And I scoped out the scene, and I was like, yeah, I do. We've been together for like 2 years. I did not have a girlfriend at the time.
Dynamite story.
When you're drinking blue and green.
Caesar was like, yes, I do have a girlfriend. Now, excuse me, I would like to get a Budweiser Light.
I don't drink Budweiser Light. Budweiser Light's gross.
Look, I have a girlfriend, but did you know that Bud Light is actually Budweiser Light? I had no idea. Just learned it today.
You know, Scott, the more you read, the more you know.
Caesar, I love you. This is amazing.
You guys too.
Guys, this has been a thank you for hanging with us, especially at the beginning where we veered off our normal talk. I think we handled that well, fellas. Mookie, I'm especially proud of you. Thank you. Especially proud of you. I don't know why I sounded like Mario, but I did. You did great in that one, Mookie.
You sounded like Chris Pratt doing Mario.
Hey, that shit drops soon, man.
I can't wait for that one.
I'm there.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Crafty Sports. Go join the Facebook group. There's a lot of fun in there. Subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can see this show and the upcoming Mookie and the Dog premiere, along with Dear Dog and whatever else we can come up with. Subscribe, rate, review wherever you get your podcasts. It helps us out a ton. Shout out Belly Up Sports, bellyupsports.com. Go hit them up and subscribe to the All Sports Podcast. We will see you guys next week. Cheers, everybody.
Is it in? All the way in?
Now pull it all the way out.
Are you chilling?
Wait, I have something to say. All
Chilling
of
in the bowl.
you, grab your loved ones and remind them you love them. Life is very fragile.
Put it all the
All of you,
all the way in.
be safe. Congrats on a new year.
Feel like poop right now.